Hello everyone and welcome back to exercise number 25 of the SolidWorks Basic Tutorial Series. In this video, we're going to be designing a switch base. Now, in implementing this within SolidWorks, we are going to be using many of the SolidWorks features such as the extruded boss base feature and extruded cut feature. Here we see the schematic drawing for exercise number 25. All dimensions here are in millimeters, and the sketch is fully defined. Now, it's always a good idea to stop for a minute and study and strategize how we're going to implement this in SolidWorks. And looking at the figure here, I think we can do this in three main steps. Step number one would be to sketch out the base profile of the component. Of course, we're going to be using the circle tool, the line tool, the smart dimension tool, the fillet tool, and also the offset tool to create this slot opening. Step two is to work on this lug feature. So for that, we're going to sketch the base profile of this lug, and then use the extrude boss base feature to create the thickness. And again, here we see that thickness is 13 millimeters. And for the base profile here, where we use the extrude boss base after sketching the profile, we extrude this to a thickness of 11 millimeters. Finally, step three involves creating this counterbore feature. And for that, we can either use the hole wizard, or we can use the standard procedure, which is to draw a circle and then use the extrude cut feature to create the counterbore. Either way works. So yeah, with that aside, let's get started with exercise number 25. Okay, so we start by creating a new SolidWorks part. We copy exercise number 25 into SolidWorks. And as I said previously, we begin by sketching the base profile of the component. So to do that, select top plane, sketch, and then go ahead and press S on your keyboard, and that will invoke the widget shortcut within SolidWorks. Go ahead and select circle, and from the origin, draw a circle. This circle, of course, corresponds to this base circle, this larger base circle of the component. And looking at the figure, we see that the radius should be 30 millimeters. So using the smart dimension tool, again, we're defining a diameter here. So it should have a diameter of 60 millimeters. Now we're going to work on creating this bottom edge. So select line and let's draw a horizontal line at the bottom here. Now select this origin and this midpoint, and set the ratio between the two as vertical. Now it's directly aligned vertically. Select smart dimension, and from the figure we see that the distance between the center of this circle and this bottom edge should be 32 millimeters. So the distance between this point and this edge is 32. And the overall length of this bottom edge is 70 millimeters. So the length of this line is 70 millimeters. Now select offset entities, and we're going to offset this bottom line to the top by 8 millimeters. So assign a offset distance of 8 millimeters, and then go ahead and select this line, unselect bidirectional, and then select reverse direction to take this line or offset this line to the other direction, and then select OK. Select line again, and then close off these two lines that you just created. Now we're going to work on creating this top edge. So again, from this, draw one horizontal line. Select the midpoint of this line and the origin, and set the relation as vertical. Looking at the figure, the line should have a length of 38 millimeters. So select smart dimension, and the length of this line should be 38 millimeters. Likewise, the distance between this top edge and this bottom edge overall should be 70 millimeters. So the distance between this edge and this bottom edge should be 70 millimeters. Select line, and then draw two vertical lines as so. Again, select trim entities and delete any extra lines, leaving behind the base profile for the component. Now we're going to work on creating this circular opening in addition to this inclined slot opening. So to do that, Press S on your keyboard, select circle. From the origin, draw one smaller circle. And you can see here that the radius should be 12.5. So the diameter should be 25 millimeters. Right? Let's put these dimensions to the side here. Now go ahead and select center line, and from the origin, draw one horizontal line. Select line again, and from the origin, draw another line at an angle. Now this inclined line will serve as the basis for this slot opening here. And we're going to use the offset entities tool to create create the required thickness for the slot. And looking at the figure here, we see that this slot should be at an angle of 45 degrees with respect to the horizontal, right? So select Smart Dimension, and the angle between this line and this line should be 45 degrees. Now select Offset Entities, select Bidirectional, and assign a offset distance of 5 millimeters. Select this line, and then select OK. So what we did actually is we offset this line in two directions, 5 millimeters each. The overall offset distance should be, or it actually is, 10 millimeters. Select Trim Entities, and go ahead and delete any extra lines. And then select OK. Now we're going to fill out some of the corners for the sketch. Go to Offset, or actually select Fillet Entities, and assign a fillet radius of 3 millimeters. In both cases, for this fillet and this fillet, the fillet radius is 3 millimeters, so enter a fillet radius of 3 millimeters. And select these corners, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then select OK. Now go to Features, Extrude Boss Base, and we're going to extrude this base profile to a thickness of 11 millimeters. So this should be 11, and then select OK. Step 2 involves creating or modeling this lug feature. So what do? We go ahead and select this face, sketch, and go ahead and select circle. And from the origin here, draw a circle. And this circle should have a radius of 16 millimeters. So using Smart Dimension, the diameter here should be 32 millimeters. And looking at the figure here, we see that the distance between the origin of the circle, or the center of the circle, with respect to this top edge, should be 22 millimeters. So the distance between this point and this edge is 22 millimeters. Select line, and then close off the figure. Make sure the lines are tangent with respect to the circle. So go ahead and select this circle and this line and set the relation as tangent. Select Trim Entities and delete this extra line. Go to Features, Extrude Boss Base. We're going to extrude this to a thickness of 13 millimeters. So assign the thickness of 13 millimeters. Select OK. Finally, we're going to work on creating this counterbore feature. So select this face, sketch, and we're going to do this the easy way by drawing a circle and then using the Extrude Cut tool. Right? Press S on your keyboard, select circle, and from this point, draw a circle. The circle should have a radius of 10 millimeters. So this should have a diameter of 20. Now we need to cut this, so go to Features, Extrude Cut. We need to cut this to a depth of 6 millimeters, right? So this should be 6 millimeters. Select OK. Again, select this surface, sketch, S on your keyboard, select circle, and from the center right here, draw a circle. And the circle, this hole actually should have a radius of 5 millimeters. So this should have a diameter of 10 millimeters. Press S on your keyboard, select Extrude Cut, and we're going to cut this profile all the way through to the other side, then select OK. Delete this image, set the background to plain white, and then assign a material for the component. Again, select ASI 1020 steel, apply, and close. Alright, so that concludes exercise number 25. I hope you all enjoy this video. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them down in the comment section below. Until we meet again, have a nice one, and I'll see you all in exercise number 26. Bye-bye.